Domestic violence calls for help are still on the rise following the COVID-19 pandemic. And that means emergency shelter is needed now more than ever.
But for one group of people, domestic violence homicide rates are significantly higher, and local shelters are raising the alarm. 10 on your side's Kiana Patterson shares how the Samaritan House is working to address the stats in a unique way. Kiana?
This mural on 21st and Atlantic is a tribute to survivors of domestic violence and a symbol of hope.
It's unfortunate that it's such a powerful crime because it also affects emotionally and physically and mentally.
One of the top calls for service to Virginia Beach police are often domestic calls for help. Some of those victims reach out to the Samaritan House.
We're only involving law enforcement if that's something that they want.
Courtney Pierce with Samaritan House is working to address a shocking nationwide statistic.
Black women are being murdered at higher rates than anyone else.
Since November of last year, at least 7 Black women have been killed in the Hampton Roads area as a result of domestic violence.
This is not a them problem. This is a us problem.
To address this issue, the nonprofit is partnering with a local influencer to share the stats and red flags on social media. Brenton Sims is from Chesapeake with over 15,000 followers.
Domestic violence plagues every community, but studies show that Black women are affected more than any other race or ethnicity.
The idea is to empower the Black community through education.
Of Black people being marginalized and oppressed in our communities has a large issue to deal with that. Rates of poverty, rates of schooling and affordable housing, all of those play a part in why we see an increased amount of violence within our communities.
Right now, in emergency shelter, the Samaritan House is serving nearly 60% Black families.
We're seeing so many of, our sisters and brothers come in.
The Her Shelter in Portsmouth is also seeing African Americans are disproportionately affected by intimate partner violence.
Over 75% of the individuals that reside within our shelter identify as Black.
And it's the same across the water on the peninsula.
Unfortunately, a lot of our African American women are coming through our programs. We have survivors that are transitioning out of the program, and we're seeing them possibly return.
Sims is now using his platform, known as a Brave Space, that focuses on Black male mental health through uplifting messages and yoga instruction.
And because I know that if we heal, those statistics will go down. And so there's a responsibility there for men of color to be part of this conversation.
But historically, distrust among Black and brown populations may cause hesitation to call the police.
So you have to develop a good relationship. You have to make sure that when you respond to a case, that they trust you, that they feel comfortable opening up to you, and they're comfortable on speaking about all the horrible things that happen to them.
The response to calls for help in Virginia Beach is a little different after the Marie Covington case revealed failures in the initial investigation.
We have a new reporting system. We constantly call back.
Now the goal is for unity and encouragement for those still on the healing journey.
That hope is a discipline and that doing the work can create change.
And tomorrow, Courtney Pierce will join several community activists for a panel discussion at Norfolk State University. The topic is about racial disparities in domestic violence. It starts tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and I'll post information for this over on wavy.com under the Domestic Violence Awareness page. Kiana Patterson, 10 on your side.